Wait, you're telling me this lady's name is Venus? Like Alo-Venus? Like the goddess Alo-Venus? And she looks just like Dina, who I'm already thinking is Alo-Venus? It's totally gonna be Dina. This lady that's working for the Devil Folk is totally gonna be Dina. But yes, episode 7 of Last Boss. What a fantastic episode. I just love this because last episode I was like, it's a good episode, but like not enough to really kind of chew on. Episode 7, there's like too much to really chew on with this one. I don't even know where to start. I guess, obviously, let's just start off with Dina. I start every single episode impressions with talking about the sus individual known as Dina. But yes, in this episode, at some point, we get the perspective of the Devil Folk, and they're trying to figure out what happened with Mars. And yes, at some point, Venus shows up, and she says that Mars is gone. We know she knocked him out, got rid of him. But yes, at some point, she does mention the fact that she's following Lufus. Well, she doesn't say Lufus. She's following an individual. They have black wings. She pulled back because she's afraid of them. But yes, she does mention that fact, and they go, oh, it's got to be Lufus. Because who could take out Mars that has black wings that's really powerful? But yes, they tell her to go ahead and follow them. And then we get a shot of the individual, which again, blonde hair, blue eyes, just like Dina. But the hairstyle itself is just like Dina. So again, that goes that perspective that I have that this is going to be, again, Alo-Venus, which is Dina. And for some reason, she's working for the Devil Folk. Now, there's still a chance that she is like an evil goddess that's working against Alo-Venus, which is Dina. And they just look like each other because they're sisters or something like that. But it does seem like she took out Mars. She took out Mars. But the question mark for me is, what kind of works against that is, why is she working for the Devil Folk? It could be that she's trying to draw one of them out one by one, just so that Lufus and her team can take them out. Because it does seem like Libra's going to take out one of them if it is this Juniper guy. But again, it's like, why? Why would she even bother with that? Unless she's trying to slowly weaken them so that one day Lufus could take down the Demon Lord by themselves. But they haven't indicated that these people are that strong. Like, why would Dina even think they're like a threat? That's fine. She can go in there and probably one-shot them all. Lufus is a powerful one. I don't know. It could be. But yes, that added part at the end there is that apparently Dina was looking for somebody. Said that, where is he at? Now, that could be Audis. Audis could be the one that she was looking for, but didn't indicate that Audis was looking for her. But again, this male Devil Folk is now running towards Dina, and then Libra sees them and attacks them. It doesn't look like that was Juniper, because Juniper had like very spiky up hair. But again, he was wearing a disguise. I don't know. Again, sus levels. Outside of that whole situation there, the rest of the episode, fantastic. Again, a lot of it having to do with Lufus and the Heavenly Winged. Yes, getting the Heavenly Winged themselves through like the backstory and everything like that, we do get an indication here that I thought originally that all the Heavenly Wings were going to be like separate clans. You're going to have like this one clan is the Dark Winged. You're going to have a clan of pure White Winged. But it does seem like this is indicating, based on Lufus's own experience, the actual Lufus of this story, of this history, this individual was born with black wings to a mother and father that had white wings. So this does tell me that they're all the same race. They're Heavenly Wings, obviously. They're all the same race, and just when a child is born, they could be born with darker wings. And it seems like all signs are pointing to the darker the wings are, or them not being white at all, means that they are some sort of stain. They're curse. They're bad. And that's what the father gives. Well, we get that little backstory, that little flashback is the father hates this child, hated Lufus, was abusing her, telling her to stay locked up in some room, never go out, don't talk to the neighbor kids and all that kind of stuff. She fought back because they were throwing rocks at her. Stay in here, you filth. You are a stain upon our family. And yes, later on, when the mother comes to see her, she's ill. Her father claims that her mother is sick because of her, like it's her fault. I think obviously this is some sort of blame, that probably because he's locking her up in this hut, her mother wants to see her daughter, knows that her daughter's suffering, and this has put a mental and physical strain on the mother. She's dying because he's mistreating the daughter. She knows that the father hates the child. That's the sucky part. But she still comes to see her daughter, tries to come give her some food and nurture her and everything like that. And then the father just comes in there and say, get away from this disgusting child. Ugh. But it's obviously all leading into sort of the driving force for Lufus. The cool thing in this episode that I'm starting to kind of see here, and I think I've kind of hinted at a few times during the impressions of this series, is it's sort of given this indication that obviously these memories of Lufus, the individual of this world, is coming into this player's mind. As they are taking apart as this character, those memories are flooding in. And he keeps saying over and over again that I never put this in the bio. I never wrote this backstory. Where is these memories coming from? This is the memories of this individual. This episode's pushing more and more into the idea of these are sort of what I'm getting impression of. This is going to be sort of a story that may have been fabricated because of the story that he played. What I sort of mean here is that because he's feeling like he himself is, his soul's going into Lufus, and now questioning where did this soul of Lufus go? He's like, I thought this was the game world this entire time, but now I really do feel like this is another world. This isn't the game world. We got the indication of that because Megris wasn't a player. Megris was an individual, and that will probably be the same case for Medic. That these individuals are all living, breathing people of a different world. Now the question mark there is, why is it so similar to the game? My current theory here is that one of two things here. Because he played this game, the world itself of the game sort of became realized. The world birthed from the game, or the world birthed from his mind and his experience with the game, and the characters became alive. And thus, all this backstory sort of had to get filled in, and now that backstory is now flooding into the player who's now Lufus. The other interesting theory that I had is that the game itself is the world, and when he started playing it, he took control of that world. So this whole backstory of Lufus as a child, being mistreated by the father and everything like that, was a real world. And then he started playing the character and thus took control of Lufus and helped her rise up to her victory until eventually she lost. And then that story gets cut off and it gets returned to Lufus as the person. And then everything went downhill. That's when we have that gap between the point that he stopped playing and he's sucked in the world. That little gap there where this world went on breathing suddenly collapses, and the goddess Alo-Venus goes, oh no, he needs to come back because the world's falling apart now that he left. Now that Lufus has fallen, we need him back because we need Lufus. And so Alo-Venus goes over, grabs him, pulls him, throws him back in that world, lets him take control of Lufus once again. Lufus goes off to somewhere else, not really sure at this point. She could be dead. He does kind of wonder in this episode what happened to Lufus. I do believe there's a possibility that Lufus, she died. The heroes killed her. But he's thinking that the soul's somewhere else. Anyways, so now that he's back, he's taking control again, and now he's able to restore the world back to where it was. This is what Alo-Venus, Dina, wants, is for him to restore the world to what he sort of was getting it to. Because that is sort of fulfilling that wish, that desire that Lufus had a long time ago of creating that equality. It's cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. I'm again, you guys can tell I'm just yapping on. This stuff is just, it's grabbing me. I'm really enjoying it. But yes, the actual winged heavenly wings, pretty decent story. Again, my assumption was the idea that they were all gonna be sort of different races, but it does seem like there is there's a prejudice system here, and that's pretty much what they get into when they finally go to this one town and it's all separated. Now that Lufus is gone, they have pretty much decided, apparently, that, I don't know how he comes to this conclusion, but Lufus believes that because the fact that he was this conqueror and he took over the lands, because he did that, the prejudice got worse. Like, it was always there. Like, we've seen it with the backstory, but then he took control and then he lost, and now it seems like the prejudice is even worse and he thinks it's his fault. I don't get that because, again, everybody in this world seems to think that Lufus was a great person. It was even in Megris's library. All these books saying how horrible the heroes were. Even in this town, well, at least this individual that Lufus runs into, believes this hero is a sham. They all hate the heroes. So it's odd that he immediately thinks it's his fault. I just think the White Wings are just nasty people in general. And her father's still probably around. I hope the mother is, but she was really ill. She probably, when Lufus left, probably went downhill really quickly. But yeah, they go to this one town. They end up, trying to check out the darker area first, which, yes, that's when we get at some point Lufus running into this individual that has this shrine erected, which, again, doesn't really surprise me, and especially in the dark winged area. And yes, as we see from this individual that Lufus meets, yeah, these individuals pretty much revere Lufus as like a god. Like, even going so far as to like question, what about the fact that one of their servants basically pushed you guys out of your homeland? that was our fault. Again, it's one of those mindsets where, like, this is a being that is all perfect. Lufus is great, so obviously it's our fault. We obviously did something wrong. We let the devil folk take over when she fell. It's our fault. This is our punishment. But yes, I do kind of find it interesting to really get in the idea that they are really kind of worshiping her as sort of this individual that, unlike them as colored wings, where they all hid in the shadows, where they all had no spines, Lufus stood up. Lufus got stronger. Lufus stood tall and gained respect through their strength. Obviously, this is a beacon of hope for them. This is somebody that did something that they think they can't do. And unfortunately, it seems like they're still not doing. Although I guess I do see they are doing that because they're not letting themselves really fully back down. This town has a lot of areas that are supporting of colored wings. So it does make sense that it does seem like she's at least keeping them bolstered and keeping them from, you know, being completely pushed down. What else happened in the episode? Audis. Audis is interesting. Audis is very interesting in this episode. A few funny points in this episode, like Libra talking about the ponzu. You like black ponzu? Oh, white ponzu. You're so conservative. What about no ponzu? Audis is over there like, what? But no, at some point, Audis does mention to Lufus the fact that, yes, this one individual, the goat, had joined the devil folk in order to get revenge for Lufus. And so Lufus is like, okay, that's fine. We'll take him back. But then at some point, Audis is sitting on a ledge and wishes that they could just level this town. Again, this is similar to like the whole situation at the graveyard. When they were at the town next to the graveyard, he just wanted to level the place because they were all disrespecting Lufus. Audis is very childish in their mindset. They're just very simple-minded. Let's just nuke the place. But anyways, at some point they're walking around, they end up running into the goat. Now here's the interesting thing. Guy pops up, says, yes, I'm still working for them. It's a use me, I use you situation. They use me for their own purposes, and then I will use them in order to get my revenge, which is, of course, killing the hero. And now, in front of Audis, saying, hey, help me. Let's take out the hero. Here's the odd thing. Audis doesn't say, wait, Lufus is here. He could have easily said, no, you don't have to join them anymore. Leave them. Our master's back. Instead, he just looks down to the side. Like he's contemplating it. So I'm like, okay, we could totally have a fake out. Next episode opens up and he goes, nope, Lufus is here. Now there could be a struggle there because he didn't believe it at first. He had to fight Lufus to figure it out. Maybe he doesn't think that the goat will immediately agree with him that Lufus is back. But the other side here is I'm kind of wondering if Audis is going to feed into this desire. Oh, he's telling me I can level this place. Audis wants to do it. You think that he would actually join the goat? Yeah, let's do it. Even though it is technically against what Lufus would want, I think he could. He could potentially join them just to get that revenge. Because that's sort of like the whole situation again with the graveyard. In that town, Lufus realized this thing is on a short fuse. That quick, he could level this place. Crazy. I have to keep them under control. And here, Audis is being whispered in the ear, hey, we could do this. I want to. Audis wants to level that place. Audis wants revenge. Audis, yes, wants to follow the master's rule, but at the same time has the desire to essentially get revenge for their master, even though the master is here. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious as to why he didn't immediately just go, wait, no, Lufus is here. Come back. Come back. It's cool. I don't know. Anyhow, I think that's everything. I think I covered everything, just kind of ran through everything. The backstory of Lufus was pretty gut-wrenching, though. Just the sheer mistreatment of Lufus. It just absolutely gut punch. This poor child did nothing wrong. The father's just punching her, beating her down. Had another show this week that was full of, like, abuse like that. So it's like, oh, like a double whammy in 1 week having 2, like, abuse scenes. It just doesn't bode well for my system, but yeah, just kind of seeing her finally getting fed up with it, crying out against Alo-Venus and just trying to, you know, stand on her own feet was really good stuff. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 7. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button. I would love like this content. You want to support more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.